Hashtag trending is made possible by the generous support of Zoho Canada, a unique and powerful software suite to transform the way you work. Designed for businesses of all sizes, built by a company that values your privacy. Visit them at zoho.com. Only 4% of teenagers use AI tools daily, according to a new study. The New York Stock Exchange comes to a halt with a technical glitch. AMD ups its game to compete with market leader Nvidia, and an intriguing piece asks the question, what exactly is AI safety? These stories and more on the Isn't It a Little Late to Be Asking That edition of Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. While generative AI has taken the world by storm, it hasn't yet become a daily habit for most teens and young adults, according to an exclusive new survey from Common Sense Media, Harvard, and a group called Hopelab. The survey found that just 4% of respondents aged 14 to 22 said they use AI tools daily or almost every day. In fact, 41% reported never having used AI at all, with another 8% unsure what AI tools even are. For those who do use AI, the most common uses were getting information, 53%, and brainstorming ideas at 51%, the common tasks for homework. But there were big differences across demographics, with 62% of Black youth reporting using AI for schoolwork, compared with just 40% of white respondents. Looking ahead, a 41% plurality expected AI to have both positive and negative impacts over the next decade. However, LGBTQ plus youth were significantly more likely at 28% to anticipate mostly negative impacts versus 17% of their non-LGBTQ plus peers. The survey suggests that generative AI hasn't fully penetrated daily life for this young demographic yet. As avid early adopters of new technology historically, how teens and young adults shape their relationship with AI could profoundly influence its trajectory. There's a link to the full study in the show notes. The New York Stock Exchange is urgently investigating a technical glitch that caused dozens of major stocks to erroneously show massive price drops of up to 99% earlier today. Big names like Berkshire Hathaway, GameStop, Chipotle, and Barrick Gold were temporarily halted for volatility after their listed share prices plummeted due to the technical error. Berkshire A's share, for example, briefly showed a 99.97% loss before trading was frozen. Around 50 stocks in total were impacted, according to the NYSE, which said that the problem involved inaccurate limit-up, limit-down price bands that are designed to prevent excess volatility. These bands set limits on how much a stock can rise or fall over a 5-minute period. However, a glitch caused the bands to severely malfunction, allowing for the erroneous and extreme price drops before trading halts kicked in. In a statement, the NYSE blamed the issue on inaccurate price data being published industry-wide, triggering the haywire limit-up, limit-down levels. The exchange says it has now resolved the technical problem and restarted trading for impacted stocks after a few hours of investigation. While highly disruptive, the price plunges appear to have been merely a technical glitch rather than an actual market crash or a technical meltdown. The NYSE stated it is now reviewing potentially impacted trades to resolve any issues caused by the stock pricing. AMD unveiled its latest artificial intelligence chips aimed at challenging market leader Nvidia in the lucrative AI semiconductor space. At Computex, AMD CEO Lisa Su introduced the MI325X accelerator chip to be available in late 2024. The company also detailed plans for an upcoming MI350 series expected in 2025 that AMD claims will deliver 35 times better performance for AI inference workloads compared to their current MI300 chips. Inference is critical to generative AI workloads. Additionally, AMD revealed it is working on next-generation MI400 AI chips targeted for release in 2026 based on a new architecture they're calling Next. I'm not going to pretend to compare the speeds and feeds of these different chips, but it is clear that AMD has made some substantial progress in performance and has thrown itself into both high-end commercial and consumer-level AI chips to keep up with Nvidia. The new product roadmap shows AMD is aiming to release AI chip upgrades on a yearly basis, again emulating Nvidia's goal of annual announcements. And while Nvidia still dominates the market with around an 80% share, AMD isn't going to be counted out. Even if they can't equal Nvidia's new Blackwell architecture, if the explosive growth of this market continues and they have a competitive product, maybe even at a price advantage, there will be customers in a world with, at least in the short term, an insatiable appetite for AI computing cycles. The idea of making artificial intelligence safe is something everybody agrees is important. But increasingly, there's a real question to be answered. What do we mean by safe? Axios journalist Scott Rosenberg wrote an excellent short piece that posed this question. On one side, there are those focused on preventing AI from developing goals misaligned with humanity's best interests, avoiding a catastrophic scenario where advanced AI pursues unintended objectives with disastrous consequences. We've all seen the movie. Others are looking to root out harmful biases that could lead AI systems to unfairly discriminate against certain groups based on traits like race, gender, or background. But Google found out how hard it is to develop rules that would do that and not distort things like historic realities. The rise of powerful language models like ChatGPT have brought new debates around misinformation and hate speech risks. Most companies have implemented guardrails to filter out disinformation and toxic content. Others, however, are condemning this as censorship or being ideologically woke. Elon Musk wants to create unfiltered models. He thinks the most important thing is not teaching AI to lie. But that's nonsensical. No one wants an AI that doesn't tell the truth. The problem is we no longer seem to be able to agree on what that truth is. At its core, we have what can only be described as a partisan rift motivated by fundamentally different definitions of what AI safety should do and which risks deserve prioritization. But that lack of consensus may have consequences. Clearly, this lack of agreement is tearing the social fabric in the US and other countries as well. But if we can't rise above our differences and agree on what AI safety means, or if we can't find a way to agree on some objective standards, AI might not reflect the best of who we are, but the worst of who we might become. And what might sink us could be a failure of humanity to agree on what is true, and frozen in that indecision, we may develop no real guardrails at all. And in the early days of these systems, we saw examples of how nasty an AI could be with no guardrails. Remember the system that tried to get the journalist to leave his wife? Or the AI that threatened to ruin someone's reputation? Or the AI that told a suicidal person that they were right? Maybe they should end it all? Where did the AIs learn those ideas? From us. Somewhere in all that it ingested, it came up with those ideas. But you might say the AI might have learned from fiction. And the problem is it can't tell fact and fiction. Perhaps. Sometimes it doesn't seem that we can tell the difference either. And the problem might be, if we can't tell the difference, how will we set guardrails? Who will set them? And the problem might be that we can't teach AI, but it might actually learn from us. I put a link to Scott's article in the show notes. And that's it for today's show. Remember, you can get us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on YouTube in both audio and video format now as well. Show notes are on technewsday.com or .ca. Take your pick. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.